Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Zabuu here, and wow, what a great start to 2025. We have so many games coming out, but especially our action RPG games. I feel like 2025 is packed with loads of action RPG games. We got Ninja Gaiden 4, we got Lost Souls Aside, we got Onimusha, but one of my favorite and most anticipated games for 2025 is Tides of Annihilation. So I didn't get to see the PlayStation State of Play, and I had no idea that Tides of Annihilation was going to be dropping a trailer. But when I saw the trailer for the first time, I thought it was actually a Final Fantasy 16 DLC. Even though we knew that Final Fantasy 16 wasn't going to be getting any more DLCs, this game looked that good where I was like, holy shit, is this a Final Fantasy 16 DLC where you get to play as Jill? And even though it wasn't a Final Fantasy 16 DLC, and I was a little disappointed, I was super hyped that we're going to be getting a new IP from Chinese developer Epic Glow Games. It's actually been really great to see Asian developers take on AAA games instead of just doing mobile games. Last year we had two big hits with Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong. Both were developed by Asian developers and did really good in the West. And I'm hoping that this game, Tides of Annihilation, also does really well because, man, y'all, this game looks so insane. The game looks like it takes place in like a modern fantasy setting, so you have characters who are in the real world or in places from the real world doing like magic and using magic, but also looks like they can traverse into this like other world and fight enemies from the other world and vice versa. So that's really cool. I like that concept. And second of all, the set pieces in this game look like they're going to be insane. It looks like they're going for a really like bombastic cinematic set pieces that are going to be very memorable. When I was watching the gameplay trailer, one of the set pieces that really caught my eye was this alleyway that the main character goes down through, and all of a sudden turns into this like cinematic where the perspective changes of the camera, and all of a sudden you're on like the side of a building, kind of similar to Inception when Leonardo DiCaprio is going through like people's minds and the buildings and stuff start changing perspective and start like shifting around. It was very similar to that, and it felt insane watching that, and I can't wait to get my hands on this game just so I can try it. But the main character goes from running on the side of the building to then jumping off and going through this portal where then she starts flying throughout the city. And man, that's the type of stuff I've been looking for in my games, just like crazy, out of this world, insane stuff. And yeah, I'm super excited to see what this game has as far as like the story and the set pieces and the environment goes. But not only that, the gameplay in this looks like it's going to be insane. I don't know if y'all seen any combat stuff, but this gameplay trailer shows some combat, and man, the combat looks very reminiscent of Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy 16. And the reason why I say it reminds me of Final Fantasy 16 is because similar to how Clive has like 4 or 5 elements that he controls in battle and he can switch between them, so can the protagonist of this game. She has like 2 or 3 or 4, I think, elemental knights that she can switch between, and each knight has like a different element attached to them. You have a fire one, an ice one, a wind one, and you can mix and match their abilities and attacks for some sick looking combos. I cannot wait for like some of the combo people on YouTube to get their hands on this game because I really want to see what kind of combos they're going to come up with. It's going to be insane. I already know it. By the way, if you guys want to see the whole gameplay trailer for Tides of Annihilation, it's in the details section of this video, so please check that out. Let's talk about the boss fights. I feel like Tides of Annihilation is going to have some amazing boss fights just from the trailer alone. I feel like the boss fights are going to be bombastic, they're going to be huge, and a game that's cinematic like this I feel like is going to have some crazy looking boss fights to make the game feel whole. Now this gameplay trailer has one boss fight against a character named Mordred, and I'm guessing she's like the antagonist to your character, but basically she's this like blonde haired character wearing all white, looking very smug as she's in this library reading books, and your character and companion both enter the library and you guys are asking her some questions. This obviously pisses her off, and she then starts like throwing these magic bolts at you, and the boss fight ensues. Y'all, when I say they went hard with this boss fight, they went hard. I mean, they didn't have to, but they did anyways. This boss fight was insane to experience. The gameplay trailer shows us this one boss fight, and it's super sick. It's against this character named Mordred, and when I tell you guys this is an insane boss fight, it truly is. It starts off at this this arena in the Scholars Library. It's very well lit, the characters look really nice, and the models are very swift to act. This boss fight reminds me a little bit of the Rufus Shinra boss fight because of the way Gwendolyn and Mordred interact with each other. Gwendolyn basically throws all her attacks at Mordred, her special abilities, her melee abilities, and Mordred is able to deflect and dodge all of them while throwing some of her own moves, her projectiles and melee attacks at Gwendolyn. It looks like throughout the fight there are going to be some cinematic cutscenes put in just to reset, I'm guessing, the fight and to add a little pizzazz to it. The fight looks really cool. There are projectiles flying everywhere, swords hitting each other, and at some point there's a big cutscene where I'm guessing Mordred enters phase 2 of her fight. The reason why I think this is the phase 2 of the fight is because the cutscene is long, it's really cool looking, it changes perspective, but also Mordred gains these like sword wings and she stabs the ground and the ground turns into scarlet rot, and then the arena changes and you're basically fighting in this like scarlet rotted field. And during the phase 2 of this fight, she becomes even more aggressive. She's using ground pounds, she's a lot faster, she's using her swords to come in and close on you. She's also throwing these like projectiles around, but one of the cool things she does in this fight that I think was like really sick is she uses this move where she goes into the sky and summons a bunch of these swords. I mean a bunch of them, and you have to dodge every single one of them. And honestly, this move alone sold it for me because I was so excited to see it. It reminded me a lot of Kingdom Hearts 2's ending fight with Xemnas, where he's throwing the lasers at you and you have to dodge them, but it also reminded me some of the fights in Stellar Blade where you're fighting Raven and she's doing all these like crazy moves and you have to dodge them. So yeah, I'm safe to say I'm interested in this game and I want to know what more it has to offer. It's definitely gonna be like a day one buy for me just because I'm interested in the story, and it's a new IP, so we're gonna be getting a new story for it, which is great. And I want to know what you guys are thinking about this game. What do you think about Tides of Annihilation? Is it your type of game? You know, do you guys like action RPGs, or you're like, nah, this is too much of like a flashy hack and slash type of game, it's probably not gonna have a good story? Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and I will catch you guys later. Zabuu out.